Yo, 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 yo. All right. Today is February 12th. Yesterday, February 11th, marked my 18th month anniversary on my lock journey. So, without further ado, let me just give you a tour around my kitchen real quick so you just could see what I'm working with, all right? Don't know if you guys are getting this. Hopefully you guys are getting this. All right. So there's lots of changes going on with my hair once again. You could think that you could have something figured out one minute and only for it to change the next on your wash day, after your wash day, during the week, things like that. So one of the things that I talked about probably about 2 videos ago, some of my hair that was locked up with this double flat. And what I mean by it's like 2 piece flats that came together. And I don't know if you can see that. And they're sort of, together, sort of mending with this one as well. But these ones on the bottom, down here, see some hair, curly hair. When it's wet, the thing hangs all the way down here. When it dries up, it comes up, it shrivels up. And it's a whole bunch of hair that sort of untangled itself from this. And it looks like it's going to form another dread underneath it. But right now it's just loose curly hair. So I'm going to have to continue to do cold rinses and so forth and let that lock in. Who knows if it's going to be its own one or is it going to join on to this, join on to the one in the back. I don't know, but that's the whole thing about freeforming. Your hair does what it does. Now this side is doing it as well, just not as much. So by the end of the week, I'll probably have another curly thing hanging down. But right now, it's sort of joined this one right here. And it was doing it at the same time as this one a couple posts ago. But this one is definitely doing its own thing. So, yeah, I have lots of hair, like in certain spots, like behind my ears. Don't know if you can see it. Have my hearing aids in there. Let me take those out real quick. Your boy went deaf about 2 years ago, completely deaf in his right ear. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah. But there's always loose curly hairs down there. I don't know if they'll ever join a lock or anything like that, but that's what you may experience if you're freeforming. Hopefully you can see this behind my ear. All these loose hairs like right here. And from my experience, and even some underneath the back, you'll always have those loosening up. So I have the feeling some of those will join in with others and just be curly hair, just is what it is. So those are some of the things that I have to learn to just appreciate in this dreadlock journey that I'm going through. Today is my shampoo day. Yesterday, as I said, was my 18th month anniversary. Got a few batches, got a new batch of rosemary water. I know. I promised to get you guys the tutorials on rosemary water and on my cold brew. I do have the video. I just need to edit it. Things have been busy at work, so please be patient with me. But I will get that information, get those out to you guys. My subscribership has gone up, and I thank you guys. Last time I looked, I want to say I was at 17 or something. It might have been up since then. I appreciate all 17 of you guys. If you want to, please like, share, subscribe, and leave some comments. I could also use some encouraging comments, any suggestions. And if you have questions for your journey, ask me, and I'll definitely respond. This has been a great journey. there's a lot of reviews going on. A lot of people who I've been watching haven't really been posting. You know, some people who haven't posted in a while, but you know, one of the people who I do like to watch is Johnny the Dread. Go check him out if you haven't. He brought up this whole topic about Jay-Z's dreads and so forth. Jay-Z happens to be one of the inspirations for my journey. My original inspiration, honestly, is my older brother, Ross Ilula, on Instagram. You can spell that like Ross Rastafari, Ross, R-A-S-I-L-U-L-A. He's been growing his dreads for at least 35 years now, since I was 12 or 13 years old. I'm 47, going on 48 now, so yeah, about 35 years. So he's a Ross, I'm not. I'm just Dread. My brother's an actual Ross who happens to have dreads, you know, and there is a difference. You know, but going back to Johnny the Dread, it was talking about the whole Jay-Z thing, people freeforming and stuff like that, people making fun of him, things like that. If you guys are going through that, you know, conflict within your family, friends, or circles, you know, I think the key is just to remember who you're doing it for. You know, I find that, like, I'm on my own journey, even outside of dreads. You know, I've been going through my own spiritual awakening through a program that I deal with, a 12-step program that I deal with, and also just in life with locks and just letting go of things and changing some things and embracing and getting to know myself. And for me, this whole journey has made that foundation, that commitment, I should say, that dedication more real. Excuse me. And what I mean by more real is, you know, I had to let go of some of these things. Some people aren't going to like your dreads, and some people are going to judge you. But I'm not doing it for them. And I'm not saying this as like some little like, yeah, you know, fuck them, you know, excuse my words, but, you know, forget them, yada, yada, yada. You know, no negative things, you know, just bless you in whatever you're going through. And, you know, I understand who I am. You know, I'm a man first. I'm Black second. I'm a father, a husband, a son, a brother, uncle, all these things. And in all those areas of my life, I have to find acceptance of that. So if my kids are messing up and so forth like that, I can't like avoid telling them what I feel out of fear of them saying, oh, you're going to lecture me or something. Just using that as an example, right? I got to do what I have to, be true to myself and do what I feel. However, I don't need to have expectations of them to change. I need to allow them to be them. But I also accept who I am as a father in that role. So when it comes to my hair, this is my journey. It could be a challenge for people to see their son. In my case, my mom's not like this though. So just so you guys know, my mom used to have dreads. I don't have that problem, you know, but I hear about that. And I know society has that problem. I grew up, like I said, my brother's been doing it since I was 12, 13 years old. He was like, I want to say like a sophomore, junior in high school when he first started, right? And rest in peace to TRUGOY, plug 2 of De La Soul. He just passed earlier today, and believe it or not, that's who inspired my brother to grow his hair on the Me, Myself, and I video. Swear to God, put my right hand to God, as Nipsey Hussle says, and just in general, everybody, that cliche, but that's who inspired him to start it back in, I want to say like 88, you know what I mean? So saw that video. I used to record my videos, and I don't know if it was Rap City or Yo MTV Raps, used to record them on VHS, and that's who inspired my brother. And so I don't have that problem though, you know what I mean? I see my brother get ridiculed. People just ask him questions about his hair, the same thing that people are doing to Jay-Z. And I only use Jay-Z as he is an inspiration because we have similar backgrounds, ways we've made livings, things that we do, and he's just an inspirational brother all around. You know, he's very motivational for me personally. I don't really have that envious or jealous bone. I might have an envious bone, like, dang, I wish I got that, but not the jealous bone, like, fuck that nigga, fuck him because he has that. I don't have that. I have the, like, you know what, I wish I had that, I'm going to go get that type of envy, you know, if anything. But anyhow, I never had to go through that, but some of you guys probably are. And if your family are doing that, sometimes people, like, because of the way we've been taught to be clean and we have to excel as this type of person, and we got to work 5 times harder than this person, and all these like mantras and belief systems that we have incorporated in our life, and they helped us to an extent, right? They helped us for a long time. But sometimes these things that we've been taught has enslaved us to not allow ourselves to grow, and in turn not to accept ourselves as who we are. And to me, acceptance means that things are neither good nor bad. They just are. You know what I mean? Which also leaves me from blaming other people, right? So I know when people are judging me, it challenges their own internal belief system of what's good or bad, what's right or wrong, what's clean, what's dirty, and so forth. And they have that internal conflict. And what you are more than likely experience whenever people do that is them projecting their own fears onto you. A part of my journey going through this, I understand that with the 12-step program that I deal with, and just in general, this is a leap of faith to go out here and do these things and go against all the norms. You know what I mean? This is taboo for a lot of people, So, I'm not going to knock anybody with manicure dreads. I'm not going to call it traditional dreads, because to me, Natty's are traditional dreads. And manicure ones are, just manicure dreads. But, we all have our own identifications. You could agree or disagree, and that's fine, too. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, I accept mine. And, I'm also open-minded. So if you feel somewhere, educate me on that, too, So I'm going to listen. But anyhow, a lot of people, they have an internal conflict because it goes against their belief system, and that projection that you have is what they're trying to put on you. You could take that, or you could just accept them and be forgiven of them for who they are. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call that allowing them, giving them mercy, and allowing grace for them to move on and do whatever it is that they feel, and not to allow that to affect you. Internally for me, love, empathy, acceptance, forgiveness, grace, mercy, as I just expressed, that all begins with me, and that alleviates me blaming people. But what the family members, friends, and society, they're going to sort of blame you for their fear of what's striking them. Because sometimes they have to look at them, and I'm going to speak this from my own experience, right? My older brother, Ross Alula, when he was a kid, that used to hurt me when people would talk about my brother. And in return, I used to, be upset at him. Like, you're putting me through this stuff. All these people are talking about you. You're embarrassing me. You know what I mean? And, as I gotten older, I had to deal with that internal conflict. So I'm telling you from a personal standpoint, me saying those things to him was me projecting on him because it challenged everything. I didn't understand that my brother was free. And I was like just running running in a circle, this insanity of trying to do things for other people and for other people to make them like me, and me to that was going to put value on me and make me like myself. You understand what I'm saying? And once I became okay with that, I started to see that my brother was much farther in self-acceptance than I could have ever been. That was at 12, 13, or high school. By the time I got to my 20s, I wasn't feeling that way. You know what I mean? Because I was starting becoming a man, started experiencing. I still didn't want dreads at that time. You know what I mean? But I always liked his dreads. You know what I mean? I thought they were pretty cool. You know what I mean? And they're Notties. Nobody's stuff ever looked like him. And I just want to say my brother was 20,000 steps ahead of everybody else in society. But I could say personally, I was projecting my own fears and ridicule because I was internalizing what society was telling me And I was blaming him for it because they were talking stuff about my brother, and I always had to defend him, and I didn't like to do that. Quite frankly, though, if I was to be real honest, there's things he had to defend me on, and not in my presence, because it's not like I was the greatest person. You know, I used to gang bang, sell dope, do all types of things. You know what I mean? So he had to deal with that. You know, being a conscious person, someone like that. You know. And, you know, I hung around straight up real Ross that he introduced me to, you know what I mean? Eating porridge and stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Teaching me teachings on Rasta, you know what I mean? The whole Nyabingi and all these things, you know, what I and I even means. Who is I and I? You know? Me understanding about these lessons and blessings. And, you know, when I look back, my brother was just free. So, if anything, that was an envious part. Not jealous, it was an envious part. So I aspired to be like him. So when it comes to Jay-Z and I see him doing it, and I have other friends who done it and other people do it, it's like, you know what, man? Why not? Because I really don't care right now. You know what I mean? I don't care about, if I was to shave this face, I would lose many years, right? And I've never had a hard time getting women. But I don't have a hard time getting women with this. And I don't even care to get women because guess what? I'm married, number one. But two, I just really ain't tripping like that. I've always had confidence in myself no matter what. And it's crazy because I have confidence, probably more confidence in myself now like this than I ever have. Because why? I know myself. I set myself for who I am in all these roles, including the physical appearance role. Matter of fact, I feel flyer than everybody else because when I walk into somewhere, I don't look like none of you guys. I'm not that sheep caught up in that circle, you know. And that's not projecting, it's just me being proud, you know. So if you're on this dreadlock journey, if you want to take this journey, you know, you can get to a place of peace, but it's not going to always be easy because some people aren't going to understand nor care and want to control you. Because see, when people fear you, they try to control you. You know, they think something's wrong with you, or they think that somehow that what you're doing has an effect on them. And they want to contain you and control you and bring you back in, you know. I think the only people who probably have to deal with that are really but like teenagers or younger people and stuff because they're parents, you know. And, you know, I would say still talk to your parents about it, but educate them on what dreads are, what locks are. You know, don't be afraid to talk for yourself, but you also have to be open-minded and willing because, you know, and it also depends on where you live because some people live in communities where you get judged. I happen to live in a larger city where I'm not the only Natty, you know what I'm saying? So if you're in a small town and stuff, I got family in South Carolina, right? I got family in North Carolina, right? These are small towns in these places, you know? They might get ridiculed. And I have a younger brother in Dillon, South Carolina, and a younger sister in Latta, South Carolina, right next to Dillon. But my younger brother, he has long dreadlocks. His name is Ryan, if anybody's out there and sees this. But yeah, he's one of me, you know what I mean? And he's had his dreads way longer than I have. You know what I mean? And he's taken that role. His look more manicured and stuff. Maybe they were at one point in time. I don't know. But, you know, if you're in a small town, people might look at you different. Like, whoa, you know. So, you know, you might want to, some jobs won't hire you. People do judge, you know. Well, I'm not going to say people aren't going to judge you, but the most important, the person that judges you the most really is you. Everything, the foundation of acceptance begins and ends with you. The foundation of love, peace, serenity begins and ends with you. So if you're okay with that, welcome to the journey. If you don't think you could do it, you know, try it or don't, you know. Maybe you'll grow it, but keep coming back. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. You know, you don't have to do anything for me, but be open-minded. Plus, you know, we can't really afford to talk about how people's physical features are from Jay-Z or to whoever is doing freeforming, you know? I mean, when you look at it, people think that you just threw away all concern for self. Man, I still get suited and booted clean. Like I said, when I walk into the atmosphere, I shine. Yes, even like this, without maintained hair. Matter of fact, more than the maintained hair. Whether it be braids, waves, or fades, you know what I mean? You know, it doesn't matter, you know, so, you know, you just have to exude confidence anyways. I do that. So anyhow, welcome to it. I would talk to you guys about some things about my dread. They are constantly changing. They are starting to grow. This lock on the top of my head that's sort of sticking up. Some days it lays down like this, but here lately it's laying like that. It's slowly locking on the top, but some of the top is like combining with these other dreads and so forth like that. Even this, my first lock in the back, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's crazy. And I have all these little sprouts. I don't know if they're going to turn into their own locks, even behind my ears. I don't know if they're going to turn into their own locks. I mean, and you know, we'll get there. So yeah, man, do what you guys feel is best for you. Once again, not so anonymous, you know, 2 Stokes, and I'm out.